Well, here we go, folks. This is my full selection for my feet for what has been a blister-free Camino de Santiago. Start with the main thing, shall we? The boots. These are Mindel, is the manufacturer, and I think they're called Journey. The main thing to remember is they're called Mindel Comfort Fit, which is the design. I think it says there in the now quite stained inner. The key thing with the Comfort Fit range is that they're very wide at the toe. They're a much wider fit in, which means that on a downhill section I can lock my ankle in. They're ankle length boots, but they only weigh about the same as most of the trail runners I've seen people wearing. I can leave this area quite loose with room, for my foot to move around a little bit, but lock it in by tying it tight at the ankle. So keep the laces loose here and tighter at the top. I can wiggle my toes around when I'm walking if I want to. It's going to allow a lot more airflow and freedom. They are Gore-Tex, but I've not really suffered with really kind of, hot, wet feet, even in the hottest days, although I do take my boots off every time I stop for a coffee, which can be 1 or 2 times a day. I take my boots off, sit there in my socks, let them just cool off, dry out if they're even a bit moist, and back in we go. So yeah, the fact that my toes can move, they only come to about there in length, so they're not nudging the front on the downhill. That's how people lose nails. They're locked in quite nice and tight, and they're a light shoe. They're a good grip. Sorry, they're not very clean. They've walked quite a few 100 miles. But there you go, they're the boots. Mindel, I think it's called Journey, but they do a whole range of boots in the Comfort Fit range. Some are based on just walking on pavement, and then they slowly go up to be more rugged. The only thing that changes as you go up is the base becomes more and more stiff for more rugged mountain walks and stuff. The highest mountain walking thing is called a B3, I believe. That's if you're going up Everest. B2, I'm going up some pretty big mountains. B1, I'm doing hill walking. So on your toughest days, B1 is about right, but you don't really want a B1 because the toughest days are maybe 3 or 4 days out of your entire Camino. So something like an A/B. You want to go for the A1, A2, whatever they call it with Mindel, just nipping into the B, which is what these boots pretty much do. They've been absolutely incredible. I've also got a pair of, didn't bring them with me, but I've got a pair of the Merrell Moab Vents, which I see all the time on the Camino, and I prefer these. So there you go, tried and tested on the Camino with no blisters. What's helped with that? Every morning I use this. Some people I've seen put in ridiculous amounts of Vaseline on their feet. Maybe it works for them, maybe it doesn't. I just use a little bit, sort of that much. Rub it on the top of my toes. Let's just do it. You can see I've got no blisters then as well. Just the top of the toes there. Little bit in, a little bit between, and then just on the sides and the back of the heel. That's enough just to give it a tiny little bit of lubrication and slipperiness. That's all I've done every morning. This is a 28 gram tube, and I'm going to have enough left over at the end of the Camino as well, so that was plenty. My main socks have been these Darn Tough socks. Now I've seen people have a problem here because they've looked on YouTube or looked at forums, and people have said, yeah, you need merino socks, Darn Tough are a good brand, and then failed to mention all the different varieties they do. Just like I've seen boots where people say, use Merrell or use La Sportiva, but they're not saying the model. It's a bit like telling somebody the car they need is just Ford and not saying anything about the model. So with the socks, these are a merino nylon blend that Darn Tough do. It's their standard sort of things. It's a medium cushion on the bottoms. They're a little bit thicker at the bottom, under your foot. But the key thing that you need to get right is that these are a summer weight sock. People are going in and just buying socks that are for the winter. So instead of on the inside here, it being you can almost see through it. Can you see through it? Yeah, you can just about see my boots through it there. I've seen people with blisters and this is all fur and stuff to keep your feet warm. You don't need to keep your feet warm unless you're walking purely in winter. If you're doing summer or one of the shoulder seasons, like May or September or October, summer weight ones are going to be good. Your feet are going to keep warm anyway, pretty much in your boots. So summer weight merino socks, and I really like Darn Tough. They're guaranteed for life, I believe, as well, so you can't go wrong. These are just in case. Sometimes if I just feel like it's a really hot day, or for the evenings, these are liner socks. Now these are completely, I can't describe how thin these are. You can really, if I stretch it a little bit there, you can definitely see through. They're almost like stockings or tights sort of thing. I've worn them on evenings when I go out in these, which I'll come to next, just to keep my feet a bit warmer. They've not really come into the blister thing, but what you could do if you are struggling a bit with blisters, if something's happening and it's a bit cooler, you can wear one of these under that, and then if there's any rub at all, it rubs on, the socks rub against each other rather than the sock rubbing against your skin and causing a blister. One point I forgot to mention again, I'm going to go back to this, is that they need to be a tight fit on your foot. Not ludicrously tight, but you can't have it all bunching up and creasing and wrinkling under, again, because that's going to cause blisters. It needs to be almost to the level that to put it on in one go, you almost need the lanacane to put it on in one go. It's just nice and tight and secure and fits like a second level of skin. Last bit then are these. Now, I'd never heard of these until just before I came on this Camino, and some kind people on a Facebook group recommended them to me. They're called Hoka 11 recovery slides. They are extremely light. They've got a built-in arch support there, so if anybody suffers from, is it plantar fasciitis, you know what I'm saying. It helps to support that by walking on it. They're really soft and they work great as your albergue, shower, and just around town going out for something to eat in the evening when you don't want to be putting these back on again until the following day. That's it. Blister free Camino de Santiago feet tools. That's all you need. I hope that's useful. I'll get another video out soon. Please let me know in the comments if you're enjoying the gear review stuff as much as you're enjoying the journey and the adventures on the Camino de Santiago. It's very difficult for me to be able to tell at this end exactly, certainly the people that have been lovely and have already subscribed, what are the bits you're mainly interested in seeing? Is it advice and tips, or is it adventures and fun? It'd be great if you can put in the comments, I'd like more gear reviews please, or can you compare this pair of boots against that pair of boots? Can you try this out on your next Camino? Or just, can you go on that particular hike? I'd like to see the scenery. Just give me a clue, put it in the comments and I'll do my best. Thanks for watching everybody. If you're going to go on a Camino soon, I really hope you are, and buen Camino. Good luck.